One of my favorite genres of gaming is deck building. I really love any game that can incorporate that as part of the mechanic or as the entire game. So when I come across a game that does it in a very unique and fun way, I'm all aboard. So today, let me show you Codex. So normally in a deck building game, you are building from a pool of cards that both you and your opponents have access to. Well, in Codex, you have your own unique set of cards that will be available in some type of binder, much similar to this. And you will be able to pull the cards from this to add into your decks for later use. Well, I'm not going to actually use this binder to show you how to play the game. I'm just going to show you one of the pre-made decks about how it works. But it works just in the same premises, except for I won't be using a binder. So in Codex, the object of the game is to attack your opponent's base and get it down to 0 health. Each base starts off with 20 health points. There will be some tech buildings that you can build throughout the game, and those will give you access to different cards in your Codex. Each player will have a set of workers that will help you earn money and credits throughout the game. The first player will get 4 workers, and the second player will get 5 workers. In the starter version of the game, each player will start off with the same 10 cards in both of their decks. And there are 2 different heroes that you can choose from. What I'm going to be showing you is Tarok Bashar, which is the bashing hero. But there is also in the starter set River Montoya, who is the finesse hero. So a little bit about the hero here. As you can see, he has different levels to him. And on each turn you could spend gold to level him up, to get him up to different levels with different attack values and different health values. So to start the game, you're both going to place your heroes in their hero starting areas, and you are going to determine who the first player is. And of course, as I said, first player gets 4, and the second player will get a 1 worker advantage by having 5 workers to begin the game with. Then you will take your 10 card deck, shuffle it up, and you're going to draw 5 cards. So let me swing over here. I'm going to place my deck right there. Then also you're going to grab the Codex that is associated with your hero. Since I am playing the bashing hero, I'm going to grab the bashing Codex. And you can tell all the cards down here say bashing on them. And there's no need to shuffle this deck. This deck is, I believe, 24 cards with 2 copies of each card. You will just place that face down to the side of your board. You will draw your first hand of 5 cards. And then you will start the game. The first thing that you do is you're going to ready any cards that you had out on your previous turn. So if you did have a card that was exhausted, you go ahead and turn it to the ready position. Then you go into the upkeep phase. The upkeep phase is if any of your cards do have anything that you have to do with them, this is when you would do that. But this is also when your workers start earning you some money. So right now I have 4 workers. So 4 workers earns me 4 coins that I can use to use cards. So right now, my base has 20 points, and I don't have any tech out, so right now I can build Tech 0 units. I can also cast spells, but I can't cast any spells until my hero is summoned out onto the field. So I think that's the first thing I'm going to do before I even bother with what's in my hand. So if you look at the hero here, he has a value of 2, so that's how much it costs to bring him out. So you spend 2 of your money, and you bring out that hero. Now there are a couple things that you can do. You can choose to attack your opponent with any heroes or units that you've had out for an entire turn. So I wouldn't be able to use this hero just yet since he just came out this turn. You can spend your gold to bring out cards that you currently have into your hand. You can also spend gold to level up your hero. For every 1 gold you spend, you can level up your hero one level. And your heroes always start out at level 1. And that's what these little tokens here indicates. That way you always don't forget what level you are. You can also take one of your cards, sacrifice it for using it as a worker instead of whatever its ability is. So looking here, last game I played, my spark didn't really do me that good of a thing. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this a worker. So to make this a worker, what you do is you place it face down into your worker area so your opponent doesn't see what cards you're getting rid of. You spend 1 gold. And now I have 1 more worker. So I have 5 workers. And then let's see what else I can do here. Let's see here. Well, I only have 1 gold left. So I'm going to go ahead and bring out this Timely Messenger. Now as you see, he is Tech 0, so there is no problem with bringing him out since I don't have any of my tech stuff available. So I'm going to spend that 1 and bring out this Timely Messenger. Now look at his ability here. He has Haste, which means he can attack and use abilities, if he had any, his first turn. So he will come out, and then if I wanted to, I could try to attack my opponent's base if I wanted to with him, since he has haste. So to attack with him, I go ahead and exhaust him, and I declare how much my attack value is, and I also declare what I'm attacking, whether I'm attacking my opponent's base, one of their characters, or one of their heroes. The last thing that you'll do on your turn is you will lock units into this patrol zone that's right here. Now, you can take cards and put them in there and move them around your entire turn all you want. But once you say they're locked in, that's where they have to stay, and that ends your main phase. So I don't know what my opponent has in their hand, and I don't want them to attack my base. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place my hero into the squad leader position right there. Now, as you can see, each one of these has a ability right below it. I'll explain each of these. So, first of all, the squad leader position has shield and taunt. Taunt means that no matter what my opponent does, they have to attack whoever is in the squad leader position first. The shield indicates that they have an extra layer of protection. So you have to do 1 extra damage to be able to get to them. So if you're only doing like 1 point of damage, it's not going to affect my hero. If you do 2 points of damage, then only 1 of those will get through, and the shield absorbs the last one. The next place here is the elite slot, which says +1 attack. So whatever card is in that slot receive +1 attack when it is attacked by your opponent. Next is your scavenger. So if your scavenger is killed on your opponent's turn, when they die, you will get 1 coin from the bank. Next is the tactician. So if it dies, you get to draw an extra card. And then lastly is the lookout, which says resist 1. So if your opponent wants to target that card with any spells or effects, they're going to have to pay 1 gold to the bank to be able to target the lookout. Now, one thing about your patrol zone that is very cool is that all of these cards have to be dealt with first before your opponent can attack any of your other creatures or any of your tech, or more importantly, your base. So every turn you do want to try to put some people out onto the patrol zone. So that way, that's your first line of defense. So that was the end of my main phase. I locked that in. So now comes a very cool and unique way that this game works. What you're going to do is you're going to discard your entire hand. So any card you did not use, you must get rid of. And then you're going to draw. But you draw the number of cards you discarded plus 2. So right now I am discarding 3 cards. So I'm going to go ahead and take those cards and discard them face down. And then I'm going to draw 3 cards plus 2. So I'm drawing back up to my hand of 5 cards. Now, that doesn't seem like so big of a deal because I have the same amount of cards I started the game with. But let's just say I used all of my cards. I would only be able to draw 2 new cards. If I discarded 1 card, I'd only be drawing 3 cards. So the more cards you use in a turn, the less you'll have next turn to be able to play with. So it does make it interesting, does make it interesting what kind of decisions you want to figure out and how you want to play out the game. Then, once you have your brand new hand of cards, you go into your tech phase. Now with your tech phase, you will go into your codex. Whether you have a codex in a binder like this, or you just have a deck off to the side. So what you'll do is you'll go through your codex and you'll pick 2 cards to add to your face down deck. Now they actually recommend in the instructions to do this while your opponent is taking their turn, so it kind of speeds up the game process. But let's see what I have here. So I have these magic cards that I can use. And each hero has some ultimate magic card. Now it has a special colored background to remind you that, hey, this is a special card. To be able to use the ultimate magic card, your hero has to be leveled up to their max level. So my hero's max level is level 8. So he has to be level 8 before he can even use the ultimate magic cards. So that wouldn't be a very good card to put out. Then you have these tech cards. You'll have tech 1 cards, tech 2 cards, and then you'll have some tech 3 cards. To play those cards when they come out of your deck, you must have the appropriate tech built. To build the appropriate tech, you've got to have some of the prerequisites that are on each of these spaces. To build the tech 1, you must spend 1 gold, and you must have a total of 6 workers in your worker pool. So right now I only have 5, so I wouldn't be able to build the tech 1. To build tech 2, you got to have 4 gold to spend, and 8 workers, and you must already have the tech 1 building. And then tech 5 costs you 5, you got to have 10 workers to do that, and of course you got to have the 2 below it to be able to build those. So, knowing that I don't have any of my tech buildings out just yet, so I'm going to look here. One of my favorite cards is this Wrecking Ball, which is a spell and just targets a building, and you deal 2 damage to a building. And it costs absolutely nothing. So this is an awesome card to grab very first thing if you are playing the bashing hero. So I'm definitely going to take one of those. I'll place that face down while I'm deciding here. And I could grab another one, but let's see what else I have here. Let's see here. We have the boot. So destroy tech 0 or tech 1 units. Remember, heroes are not units. So you know what? I'm going to take the boot, which actually I think should be called the hoof because that's not a boot. But anyways, I will place that face down. I will place my Codex back there. And I've decided these are the cards I want, so I'm going to place those face down onto my discard pile. My opponent finishes up their turn whether they're trying to attack or conjure more units, however they wanted to do, then it'll come back to my turn. So my turn, your ready phase. So you're ready any units that were exhausted. Then you do your upkeep phase. I have nothing that has any upkeep out here, but I'm going to earn my gold from my workers, and now I do have 5 workers. So I'm just going to grab 2 2s and a 1, and then I will continue the game. So let's see what I got here. So I got a bunch of different cards here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to summon this Tenderfoot. So the Tenderfoot costs me 1, so I spend that 1 to bring out the Tenderfoot. Now, she can't attack this turn because she just came out, but the Timely Messenger can, and my hero can attack. So remember, I can pull my hero back down here if I want to. I can think about putting my Tenderfoot right there. And if I wanted to attack with my hero, I could. But you know what? I think I'm going to spend 4 of my money right here. Actually, I'm going to level up my hero to level 5. So I place a 3 and another 1 there. And now my hero is level 5. And my hero gets a really cool ability. So, if we can focus there. So now at level 5, when he attacks, he'll deal 1 damage to the opponent's base. So that's really cool. Once I'm able to level up to level 8, he will get readiness, which means he doesn't attack, that he doesn't exhaust when he attacks, but you can still only attack once per turn, but he also maintains this mid-level ability. So you don't lose it when you level up, it just adds on to what you currently have. There's also one other way of leveling up your hero. If you're able to kill your opponent's hero on your turn, your hero automatically will gain 2 levels, up to their max level. So it is a good idea to maybe even try to target the opposing heroes and try to get your hero some free levels in doing that. So that is a brief overview of how Codex works. I really enjoy this game. I like how you have your own unique set of cards. You're pulling from them. Your opponent doesn't know what you're pulling, so they don't know if you're pulling 2 of the same card. They don't know if you're pulling 2 different cards. They just don't know what cards are being pulled out of the binder or the deck that you're using. They also don't know who you are sacrificing or what cards you're sacrificing to use for those workers. It's always a good idea to put out as many workers as you can, but you only do 1 per turn. But try to build those up so that way you can start building higher in the tech. Because the tech is really how you win the game. Because once you're able to pull out those bigger and better units with the higher tech, you're just able to do some pretty awesome combos and really bring out some impressive units and really devastate your opponent. One thing I didn't mention is that the tech buildings can be targeted. Each one has 5 hit points. So if your opponent does target those after they've got through your patrols, if they destroy one of them, your base will take 2 hit points if any of the tech are destroyed. So they could try to target those to pick off your base rather than just going after your base as it is. And once a tech is destroyed, you cannot build those types of units until you rebuild that tech building. So please look for this game on Kickstarter. It is in its very last week of funding and it has already blown through its goal. So there is no worries about this not being funded. This is definitely on its way to board game shelves, and everybody that has backed this is definitely going to be getting this game. So please look for it on Kickstarter. I'll have a link down below with all of its information. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and help support Cloak and Meeple. My subscribe button is right down there, and my support link is right over there.